23, Mr. Haney.
Thank you. I move the town hear and act on the report of the Community Preservation Commission on the fiscal year 2005 Community Preservation Budget and to appropriate from Community Preservation Fund amounts as recommended by the Community Preservation Committee for the acquisition, creation, and preservation of open space, excluding land for recreational use, for the acquisition, preservation, rehabilitation, and restoration of historical resources, and for the creation, preservation, and support of affordable housing as follows. Renovations to Oak Grove School, $150,000. Feasibility and schematic design for affordable housing units on Sandwich Road at Agawam Village, $20,000. Feasibility and design development study for affordable condominiums at 113 Onset Avenue, $25,000. Cemetery mapping project, $10,512. Swift's Beach, $245,000. Totaling $450,512, and to vote to rescind the action of town meeting from April 26, 2004, in which $50,000 was appropriated in Article 28 for the purchase of land on Minot Ave.
Is there a second on the motion on Article 23? Motion has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on Article 23? Yes, and this lady in the center in the back. I'm sorry, I'd like to hear the report from the Community Preservation Committee. Is there anyone here to give that report? Mrs. Pizzolatto.
Thank you. To the moderator and members of town meeting. As you know, the town of Wareham voted to adopt the Community Preservation Act in 2002, allowing the town to collect a 3% surcharge on each tax bill for the purpose of preserving open space and historic resources and creating affordable housing for the community. During fiscal years 2003 and 2004, 10 projects were funded by town meeting votes, 2 in open space, and under open space an additional 2 projects in recreation, 5 projects under the historic preservation category, and 1 project under affordable housing. For a number of these projects, more than one preservation goal was addressed. For example, the acquisition of the Tremont Nail Factory property enabled the town to meet historic preservation, open space, and recreation goals specified in the Wareham Community Preservation Plan. The 9-member Community Preservation Committee meets monthly on the second Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. in the Multi-Service Center in a public meeting forum. All citizens are welcome and encouraged to attend. The following boards and committees are represented on the committee: the Planning Board, the Conservation Commission, the Open Space Committee, the Wareham Historical Commission, the Wareham Housing Authority, and the Recreation Commission. There are also 3 members at large from the community. At a public meeting held September 1st, 2004, proposals were considered, and 6 are recommended tonight to town meeting for funding. These 6 proposals represent the 3 major categories to be addressed by the Community Preservation Act. Please refer to the handout available tonight for details and funding recommendations for those proposals. It is important to bear in mind that the funds for these recommended projects have already been appropriated as part of the CPA surcharge and state matching funds to which the town of Wareham is entitled because we voted a 3% surcharge. This funding does not impact the town budget except to relieve it to some degree where appropriate projects can be funded outside of the municipal budget. It was the foresight of Wareham voters who chose to implement the Community Preservation Act locally has enabled the town to move forward on these exciting projects that will enhance the quality of life in our community. Thank you.
May we have a copy of the, do you have that report in writing? Lady in the center?
My name is Linda Gay. I'd like to refer line 3 of Article 23 for further study.
Is there a second on your motion? So moved and seconded to refer item number 3 for further study. Did you still wish the floor?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the property at 113 Onset Avenue has been a single-family residence for more than 50 years. The $25,000 of taxpayers' money from the Community Preservation Committee should go towards additional funding for rehabbing the 3-bedroom single-family home with a garage and made available to a first-time low-income home buyer as soon as possible. The 2 lots of land combined is just barely over 1/4 acre. Putting 4 condominiums on that size lot, along with parking for cars, leaves very little or no room for outdoor activities for families. As a single-family home, there is plenty of safe room for outdoor activities and parking. The proposed condominium project will also put a considerable drain on our water and sewage departments. Again, I repeat, spending $25,000 and the time involved on a study could be well spent going towards rehabbing the home and getting the house back on the tax roll.
Ms. Gay, do you have that motion in the proposed amendment in writing? While we're doing that, Mr. Deacon.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I wish to discuss the main motion and not the amendment. And I would like to say that I support most and possibly all of the issues that are listed on the board before us regarding Article 23. But I would like to preface my remarks, if you will allow, Madam Moderator, to congratulate the town of Wareham for this terrific town meeting format that you presented us with here this evening. It's very orderly and efficient. It's good to see the selectmen back up on the stage where they belong. I'm delighted to see the Finance Committee back up there instead of sitting down in the well, which I thought was an indignant thing to happen to them. And I congratulate the moderator for conducting such a terrific meeting, something we haven't been used to in recent meetings. Now, regarding Article 23. Regarding Article 23, and specifically the portion at the bottom, Swiss Beach, $245,000. I have several questions regarding this issue, but the first question has to do with action that this town meeting took, when was it, a year ago, or at least a year ago, maybe longer, where we appropriated, and I think we're talking about the same Swiss Beach property, and if we're not, let me know, $500,000 for the purpose of purchasing that property. And now we have before us a request for an additional $240,000, and if I understand what I'm reading here correctly, it is to be applied to the purchase price. Now, I supported the original request, following a question that I asked of the selectmen at that time, which was, since this is an eminent domain proceedings, as I understood it to be, and if that's changed, I wish to be corrected. I asked if there was any dialogue between the owner of the property and if there was any dialogue between him, he or she, and the Board of Selectmen regarding the price. Is there general agreement on the price? Because if you get into an